Good morning and welcome to PSJA Java Chat, your morning chat with your favorite PSJA ISD Instructional Technology Integration Specialist, where we discuss EdTech tools and trends with invited guests and, of course, our morning coffee. In episode 7 of Java Chat, our November's tech innovator, Denise Landeros from Kahoot Elementary, describes the importance of integrating technology and how it creates an engaging learning environment for her students.
All right, welcome everybody to our morning Java Chat. Today we have a very special person with us, Denise Landeros. She is, I'll let her tell you about herself in a minute, but she is our tech innovator for November, and we're so happy to have her here with us today. So welcome everyone. Denise, tell us a little bit about yourself, your educational experience and all that.
Okay, hi, good morning, everyone. So my name is Denise Landeros, like Ms. Pingo said. I currently teach at Landeros Elementary here in San Juan, and this is my 13th year as an educator working for PSJA. I'm also a PSJA alumni, so born and raised here in the Rio Grande Valley.
Awesome. Where did you go to school at PSJ?
I graduated from PSJ Memorial. So
very nice. Alamo girl.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, switching a little bit on your educational experience, talk to us about how did you get into using instructional technology in your classroom?
So I think I've always used technology in the classroom. However, I think I didn't become, more of an advocate for it. I think that's the year was maybe 2018. That's when I became the CIT for the school, my previous school at Sorensen Elementary. So of course, I guess every teacher is kind of reluctant, not so much to step away from that, but just because we kind of are used to what we're doing, our foldables, our journals. So yes, did I use technology? Yes, but it wasn't until I became CIT that I realized, oh, it's actually very easy to integrate it into our curriculum. And then of course, I think after COVID, that's when everybody started using it. And I think that's when all the CITs and of course you all became like very instrumental in all the campuses of, integrating it and using it. I remember, that's when we would make our newsletters and our recordings. So, I had teachers messaging me, calling me like, how do you do this? Or, how can I access this? So it was me sending that to them or getting late phone calls at night because it would happen. Like, how do I do this? And so I am at 10:30. Okay, this is how you do it. The breakout rooms, everything. So yes, it was, I think yes, have I used it? Yes, but I think it became more of a routine once I became CIT, and then now I just use it how I see fit in my classroom because every year we have a new bunch of kids, and so we have to use it and utilize it how we see best fits for our classroom.
Yeah, I like that. You have to feel comfortable on what you're getting to use, but I really like that becoming a CAT made you realize how easy it is to integrate it and interesting. I like that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, because I think that, we have, you all have these chats, you have the trainings, and it's not that we don't want to join. A lot of the times we have after school duties, we have our clubs, so I like the fact that you all have the recording so the teachers can go, back and view it later at a time that they have available. Because as you know, us educators, we're always on the run, especially if we have also a family at home.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very hard, but sitting there and learning all these, new platforms and learning how, instead of using a foldable, maybe you can use Canva instead of using, there's just so many other things that it just kind of opens your mind to it. We're also really, it's a great thing that the CIT program has also continued because, a lot of the times teachers don't notice how, you have them there. You can go to them. And, Mr. Garcia is also, one for our in our campus that we have right now at Cantu. So anytime somebody needs help, they go to Mr. Cantu, and he's, the CITs, usually the ones I've encountered, have been very, helpful in that. Not only setting up your your devices at the beginning of the year, but any questions you have, as far as any of the new things coming out.
Nice. That's good to have them.
Yes.
That it is. And I'm glad that you said it's easy.
Yes.
Not everybody's going to find it easy, but if you take the step, they're going to get there. So moving on, what are some of the tech tools that you use with your students and in the classroom?
So I do use all the district, programs that we have, but in addition to that, I love splashlearn.com, which is very good. I use that as a resource in addition to Imagine Math, but they have reading and math, and so they have it by TEAC. So anything that my students love it. So anything that I need, that I know, like, okay, they didn't ace this on the test, they need help on this, extra tutorial, I go ahead and assign it to them by TEAC, and they're able to log on, and they, it's extra practice for them, but it's in a game format. They love it. I also use a lot of Kahoot, Blooket, Flip, Canva, of course, Google Slides. So yeah, I try to integrate it here and there in the classroom. This is a very different classroom than what I'm used to. I have a larger, set of students and different personalities. So I have, it's just, you kind of have to see what works for you, and then you go from there, baby steps.
I think maybe the technology tools help you differentiate a little bit for those, individual students, the different personalities.
Yes, it definitely does. For instance, yesterday, we kind of wanted to go away from, okay, let's, instead of doing a journal entry, I just assigned them 2 slides. It was on natural resources, and all they had to do was go, I showed them how to look for the images, and they loved it. After they looked for the images, they wanted more. Like, hey, how do we change the background? How do I change the font? So these are second graders. I mean, they wanted to make it their own. They totally changed what I gave them, which was great. And not only that, but they also learned the concept, so.
They're not afraid to try, different things. So I'm glad that you're having them create products, with the technology. That's awesome.
That's really cool, Denise. What was the program that you mentioned first that you used, like,
to differentiate by TEAC?
The Splash Learn.
Oh,
SplashLearn. Oh, wow. Cool.
Yes.
Now, did that show reports and everything for you as well as a teacher?
Yes, it does. It gives you feedback. And it has different programs. I mean, it's based on math and reading, right? So they can go in and look around, see whatever other activities there is for them, and it goes by TEAC. But you can also assign. It has like a little pathway that the teacher assigns per student or per group. So 2 years ago, when we had the distance learning, I was one of the teachers for after everybody went back, and we still had, I went blank. We still had,
VLP or remote conference?
No, VLP. We still, we still had the distance learning. So I was doing 3rd grade, and STAR that year, we were going to do STAR. So that was one thing that I implemented, because I was able, we were here. I knew by student, I would look at my reports. Okay, the student needs, multiplication. The student needs place value. The student needs, whatever concept it was. So I was able to not only individualize by subgroup, but also by student.
Nice. Now, currently, do you use it more like do you are with a small group and you assign it to another group to work independently?
Yes, they can both do it. They do it independently, but then there's also like a game format that they can do. So they kind of like compete against each other. They love it. So it kind of gets a little loud in the classroom at times. That's okay. But yes, they are able to do it both independently and then also in subgroup together, working together.
Lovely. I love that you're using blended learning in your classroom. So talking about the activity that you were that you were saying that your students liked about the Google Slides that they created, I want to ask you, what has been your favorite activity in instructional technology, integrating technology with your students that you like the most, that you seem like, oh my God, this
Okay.
is it.
So we haven't gotten to this yet, but I did do this previous years because I've been in second grade for a while, and I love this activity. It's called the biography bottle.
Okay.
So what it is, you get a recycled bottle, talking about the sustainability goals. They get their recycled bottle. So what they're doing is they're researching a famous historical figure. They get to pick, so they pick their historical figure, they do the research, using the Macavia, using Google, using all the platforms that we have in the district, and then also, parents help. Once they research their figure, they make their presentation, and then their bottle, they have to create that bottle into the historical figure that they've made. So for instance, one year I had, because our basil has Elizabeth Blackwell, I had Elizabeth Blackwell, I had Martin Luther King, I had Thomas Jefferson. So they create with whatever they have at home, or they can go, buy supplies, creating their figure. In addition to their the learning and the research that they made, I integrated Flip by having them record instead of having them present in the classroom. I had them record themselves a short, snippet of summarizing their historical figure. We went ahead and printed those QR codes. We set up the classroom like a gallery walk, and when the parents came by, they would scan the QR codes, and they were able to listen to their little presentation. So that's my ultimate, I think, favorite lesson that we did. And in addition to that, we also do Christmas Around the World, which is one project we're currently working on right now. So when I came to this new campus, I told our second grade teachers, oh, do you do Christmas Around the World? And they're like, well, yes, we do. I'm like, okay, well, let's assign the project. So we assigned a project. They selected their country. They need to find not only the winter celebrations that are celebrated in their country. We talk about climate, we talk about the location of where the country is, any celebrations that they might celebrate, the food that they eat, and then they present. So again, they have an option of presenting through Google Slides or presenting on a poster board, because we have to accommodate for all our students. And they also, if they would like, they can come in dressed in their cultural attire. And they also, in addition, have like a cutout gingerbread that they decorate. So we are trying to hit all these 21st century, learners, and trying to get them to be able to present. Of course, for those that might be a little bit shy, I know we have also done integrated Flip to help them with the presentation, so that they're able to, practice at home, they can present, and then when they come to class, we do, we log on and show their video. It's a little bit easier for them than having to present there in class.
Wow, I am without words. Thank you for sharing that. That was amazing. Thank you, Denise.
Yeah, Flip is such a fun activity, and I love, that you set up that gallery walk, and parents, I'm sure, love seeing all those, little presentations.
Yes. So we hope to bring it back, because last year, instead of the bottles, they actually did the wax museum. So they did, and this was when Mr. Gonzalez was there, and he implemented the wax museum throughout the school. So everybody was a historical figure, and then we put buttons on them, so you would press them, and then they would speak. So this year we went back to the bottles.
Cute.
So cute. I was thinking, I'm like, the kids actually had to do the wax figures? But no, they were the wax
They
figures.
were the wax.
Now.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. So Denise, thinking about like your personal time, or your personal time as a teacher, or just in your personal life, how has your own use of technology changed or evolved over time?
I think it's evolved so much. I mean, I'm kind of grateful that it wasn't that advanced when I was young. Now, because I mean, now you need something, you just, click it on your phone, keyboard, so accessible. For me, as like a parent, a teacher, an educator, I get stuck on a lesson. Right now, I know a lot of the kids use TikTok. So, I mean, I log onto TikTok also seeing how did they do this lesson, or even for recipes at home. Like before it was, you go onto like Pinterest or you go to a page, but there's so many social platforms that we can use and utilize, not only for, work, but also, here at home. My child has, a project, or what can I do? Let me look at ideas. So I think it's so, really available to us than it was before. Um, Before, we had to get out the encyclopedia and be there, looking for research, and it's so much easier now. I tell my kids, you don't know how easy you have it now, and even for us, like I know I do get a lot of my, you know, um, ideas from them. I follow different social media pages on Facebook, and they all the teachers, we love sharing. So I love that they share ideas for lessons. Balloons Over Broadway was one that we did this year, where they, and that's where I got an idea from it. So I guess this goes also with piggybacking on your previous question, but that's one thing we did. We did Balloons Over Broadway, was just a book, and it's the history of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So then students had to make, a little STEM model of a balloon, and then we had a little parade in the classroom where they would go through the parade with their balloon, and it had like a Macy's Thanksgiving Day backdrop. But just different things that we would have never been able to think of, or maybe we had thought of it, but we wanted an easier way to integrate it into our classroom or even in our own personal lives. And, technology has helped in that way.
Yeah, and I like that you brought up, you learn a lot through the social media platforms. It's kind of like your personal learning network, out there. And so it is a great resource. I mean, like you said, everything's at our fingertips now. Like it's just out there.
Yes.
It is. It
And
is.
now with AI, everything is even more at our fingertips. Like
Yes.
it's so there. There's no excuse anymore to find out information. The world is full of it.
Yes, I agree.
Definitely. Like I have recipes. I used to have a recipe box. I still have that, but now everything's on the phone.
Yes, I know. Sometimes I usually do that during our break. I think I have more time. So I do look up like recipes on just different things, and the kids are like, "Oh yes, we are keeping this one. I like this one." So, it's things. But then I'm really bad at saving. Sometimes I take snippets of it or screenshots, and then sometimes I end up deleting it because I'm clearing. I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" So then I go back and I'm researching and I find the video. I'm like, "Okay, save it."
Make an album. Make an album on your phone just for picture snips. That's what I have. So then I know to go to my recipes.
Smart. I take screenshots and pictures and stuff, and then I'm like, have to scroll down to find it. But that's a smart thing, Deborah. Thank you.
Yes.
You just organized my life.
Same.
So this is going to be our final question for you. Think about yourself. You said that it took you a little bit to become a techie or start to integrate technology, and you learn how easy it was. What will be some advice that you will give to a teacher which is reluctant to integrate technology in their classroom?
I think first and foremost, slow down, take baby steps. Take it one step at a time. I think when we think, okay, integrating technology, or even like, being integrator of the month, they think, oh my goodness, that means that, students always have to be using a device, teachers are always on device walking around, with their iPad. No, like the great thing about teaching is that you know your students and you know what they need. So you get to fit whatever it is that is needed as an extra resource or to fit into your curriculum. So I would start with just one program first, whether it being Canva, it being, Kahoot. Start with one thing first, and then trying to substitute, for example, like I said, instead of using a foldable, let's do it on a Google slide, and then once you start getting a little bit more experience with that, then, bring in the additional programs. I think sometimes maybe for new teachers as well, I think back when I was a CIT and we would go and we would present about, okay, you can use this program, you can use this other program. Sometimes I felt that they felt overwhelmed. Okay, what do I use? I need to use this. No, now I need to use this. I think we need to, just, okay, slow down, take a breath, concentrate on one thing. Then once you become to be, to be a little bit more experienced on them, then you can add, another. Also, I think we need to utilize your CIT or anybody that you see on your campus, whether it be your mentor, teacher, somebody in the grade level that that will help you utilize them. How do you do this? It's okay. I think sometimes as far as new teachers or maybe even veteran teachers, they don't want to bother. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not know everything. It's like I told my students, like yesterday, when they were getting frustrated because the pictures were too big when they were sticking them onto the Google Slides, and then the wording went away. It's like, it's okay. It's the first time that I'm actually letting you create something on there. Before I would just assign it and then type it. Now I'm actually letting you to be creative. And I told them it's okay to make mistakes. That's how you learn, I think.
And they can't be afraid to try.
They can't be afraid.
And it might not, like you said, it's not going to be super easy the first time that they're trying either. So don't give up.
Yes. I think there's a question.
Yes, Ms. Landeros.
Okay.
So, do you want me to read it to you, or do you want to read it?
A little bit, but yes, if you can.
So Ms. Butanda is asking, what do you recommend for pre-K 3 through kinder to get involved with technology? What is the best app you recommend to get them engaged?
Oh, I think Flip would be very, very useful for them. They love to talk. So if you have like a center, maybe, and I know they have iPads now. So, I mean, they're going to want to be on Flip all the time. Okay, so they do Flip already. I think Flip would be great for them. I know right now, with all the holiday, activities that we're doing, maybe they can even make, I know one year I did make a Valentine's card for the parents. So they drew their Valentine's card. Maybe you can do this for, start like this, Christmas. Maybe a Christmas card. And so they would record what they wanted to record for their parents. We printed out the QR codes, stuck it on that card, and they have it there, for the rest of their lives. They can go back. Their child's not going to be the same grade, next year and the following. That's a good way to integrate it into technology. QR codes are very helpful with their iPads. Click the QR codes when it centers. If they're doing addition, sight words, I think Flip would be a great tool to use for lower grades.
Yeah, because the teacher automatically, Ms. Butanda, thank you for asking that question, can create a flip specific for something. And just like Ms. Landeros was saying, it can be in any center. So they can ask them a question, the students they can scan that QR code, they record their response, and they submit it to the teacher. So I agree with you with that.
Not only that, I mean, as pre-K teacher, I used to do kinder, and so I can just imagine how much more needier the pre-Kers are. They need you there all the time, even my second graders. So to duplicate yourself, because when you're doing Flip, you're able to record whatever assignment it is. They're able to hear you, see you. It's like you have 22 of you in the room because you're on there. They're not gonna have to go and ask you, Miss, what is it that I need to do? Because it's, it's there, it's recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the idea of sending it home like on a Christmas card.
Yes.
And I do have a tip for the teachers. Just don't delete that topic in your Flip, because that, of course, would delete that video. but just, make sure you keep it on there forever.
Yes, I would make like I keep them, but I make the different topics or like class of whatever, and then the next folders to keep it kind of organized.
Perfect. Awesome. Does anybody else that's here with us have any questions for Denise this morning?
I don't see any other questions.
Well, Denise, it's been a pleasure having you here with us this morning and learning about all the tech integration that you're using in your classroom. No wonder you're an innovator, because you're inspiring, and I like your shirt. You inspire.
Yes.
You're inspiring others, to use that technology as well. And I'm sure that shows at your campus and with your coworkers. I'm sure your colleagues are catching on with what you're doing as well, and that kind of spreads into the other classrooms with the students.
Thank you. We do what we love, and I mean, I don't take all the credit for it. My team is great. My school is great. Rolando's great. So as teachers, I think we have to help each other out. If we don't, we're not going to get through it.
100% agree.
You made me even more proud that we selected you to be the innovator.
Thank you.
Seriously, personally, you left me speechless. I'm so proud. I can't wait maybe to have Debbie steal me away and take you to see what you're doing, because it sounds amazing to me. Like, I just want to see your students. It probably would have been nice to present you with the prize with them in the classroom. They would have loved it.
Well, 2 of them were there.
Yeah.
2 of them were there.
And so I was like, oh my goodness, guys. I told them, how was my hair? The weather was pretty outside. And they're like, it's okay, Miss, you still look beautiful. I'm like, oh, thank you.
For
For sure.